Okay, hi. My name is Miss Savage. I'm going to be your therapist for today. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
That's good. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit of ground rules that this is a safe space and that anything that you say, as long as it doesn't hurt yourself or others, will be kept into this room. Do you understand it like that? Is that okay with you? With you?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So what brings you here today?
I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed with school and balancing work.
All right. When you say
And
overwhelmed, like what do you mean?
I guess with just work, school, and balancing my child with getting her to and from school, and getting home on time to get ready for my class and getting readings done as well as the work completed timely, as well as being able to balance my job as well.
Okay.
Um,
And I'm sorry, I'm going back to overwhelmed. Like overwhelmed, do you mean like stress or just like angry? Like, can you define how like you feel when you're overwhelmed?
I guess it was stress more and anxiety. Um, when I haven't completed something, when I'm late with doing something, or not meeting the deadline, or even when I'm even late and picking my daughter up from school or something like that, I begin to have anxiety, thinking I'm not doing anything right.
Okay. And I'm just taking notes as we talk just to make sure I have everything that you're saying. I just want to make sure that I have it. So you feel like you're late with doing things and that you're not getting enough stuff done. You're stressed and anxious. Is that right?
Yes. I would say anxious. Hmm.
Okay. So with just with the stress and the anxiety, it seems like you would be a good candidate for something that we call cognitive behavior therapy. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it before.
Okay, so cognitive behavioral therapy, we shorten it for CBT, is basically dealing with your emotions and thoughts, and it's typically centered around like cognitive, so your thoughts and identifying like why your thoughts may be feeling like this. If it's negative, it's this distorted thoughts or patterns. So it really works with trying to figure out so your thoughts, your feelings, and the behavior, which is a cycle. So I think that you will be a good candidate for this because it really helps implement why you feel like this, and it helps with the now instead of like the future. It will help you quickly like identify new coping skills for when you have like when you are anxious or when you are stressed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we're going to do a little bit of an example with that. So there's something with CBT and it's called your automatic um your automatic thought process.
Hmm.
uh, and basically it just goes into your thoughts. And so you would, it's kind of a little chart that we have, but like the first step is thinking about like the situation that you're in. So making note of when it happened or what exactly happened to lead to this moment. The next step will be dealing with the emotion behind it. So were you angry, stressed, were you actually happy, like the feelings that you felt at that moment. We tend to scale it from a range of 0 to 100, which I know is obsessive, but uh, that's our scaling. And then your thoughts. So, like, what's actually happening in your mind at that specific moment. So, I guess we're going to use a little bit of examples. So, can you tell me about a specific situation that you had that you felt stressed or anxious? Let's start with like just related to what you were telling me earlier.
Um, I guess I would go back to I overslept for class. And I got up on time, but I fell back to sleep. And when I woke up, I was almost 20 minutes. I was late for class. And of course, when I, got there, I guess I was anxious, stressed that I didn't make it, and then that I was going to get points taken off, or I wasn't going to be prepared because I'm late. So.
And so, what were your automatic thoughts? So, what went exactly through your mind as soon as you woke up and you realized that you overslept?
I automatically thought I couldn't do this. I'm not going to be able to do this.
And what was your emotion?
I suck at it. Look.
And that must be challenging.
Almost failure.
Right. And so, what was the emotions that you felt behind it?
Sad. No. Yeah.
Okay. What was the evidence? So when you went back to saying, you told me that your thoughts were that you couldn't do this, you sucked, that you're a failure. What was the evidence that supported that thought?
Oh, because I failed to get up on time.
Can you tell me what the opposite of that? So what's evidence that does not support those thoughts? I feel like you're struggling, so I can help you if you want. I feel like you actually waking up and realizing that you had to go to class instead of putting it off was a really good key point to say that you are motivated and you aren't a failure.
Yeah.
You feel like that's
perspective? Yeah.
accurate? Do you think
I did follow through.
Yes. See, can you give me another example? I know it could be a little tricky when thinking about the bigger picture. What about when have you ever had points taken off before? How are your grades typically?
No, I haven't had, but I did. Ooh, that's gonna be a little too much. I did fail a class once.
Okay.
And it was due to a death in the family. So.
Okay. So it wasn't anything related to you.
Right. And
sounds like you still tried your best.
Yeah, and I took the class over and I got an A, but
yeah, see, look at that. So you did well with that, which can go back to saying that even though you had a hard step, you're not a failure because you did it again and you got an A. We're going to move on to the alternative thought. So this is just what you can say if this happens again. What can you say to yourself that's positive if this happens again? So say you overslept for class and you're 20 minutes late. Instead of saying that you're a failure or saying that you can't do this, what is something that you can say to yourself to make you not have this thought process?
Just get up and try your best, and next time I'll get up on time. But I did follow through. I did go to class. And I was able to participate.
That's good. That's really good. See, you already are getting the cognitive behavior therapy as you're talking about it. It really is something quick and easy that we grasp over time. It's basically like a behavior and thought change. Lastly, to the scale that I was talking to you about. So we do something called the rate mood now. So it's basically rating this situation in particular, or any situation that you're in on a scale from 0 to 100. So what do you think that the rate for this situation, like your mood was?
In the beginning?
Now that you have your alternative thoughts.
A 90.
Good, that's perfect. All right, so we talked a little bit about cognitive behavioral therapy, and unfortunately our session is ending, but I want to thank you for coming to speak with me today, and I will see you next week.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Deja. My name is Fredia Jackson. I'll be your therapist for today. I hear you coming in concerning some issues you have going on.
Hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Well, first, I want to let you know that this is a safe place, and anytime that you feel that you want to step out or anything like that, just let me know.
Okay. So basically lately it's been a little bit stressful at work. My supervisor's been like really on my back lately, and he kind of had a moment where he screamed at me in the middle of the office. And I remember, like, basically, I feel like I blacked out. I was just like hyperventilating and just like breathing really heavy, and basically felt like I was having a heart attack. And I talked to someone and they said I was having a panic attack, and I never really had those before. But now, like, when people raise their voices or like when my supervisor is near me, I can feel it starting back up again, and I have a panic attack. Panic attack. I have to run to the bathroom and just like try to calm myself down, even though like it's difficult because I don't really know
Mhm.
much about panic attacks.
Okay, I understand. Just to let you know, that's pretty normal to feel that way when something like that happens. What we're going to do is to practice cognitive behavior therapy, and what that is we're going to get some of those negative thoughts, those automatic thoughts, and work with them and see where you want to get your core, well, see where your core beliefs, automatic core beliefs come from. Your drive on how you feel, how you think, or even how you know, set your thoughts in life, or how you should behave in order to feel safe. Um, you did say you felt stressed, and because he was screaming at you.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know. I just felt like overwhelmed. I mean, it never really happened before. He has told me that like I was one of the best workers there, and like I did get a raise. But when he started screaming at me, it was just like I think it was stressful and just like, am I not good enough? Like, why is this happening? What I'm trying my best, but is my best not good enough? Um, and just stress of like now he's giving me more work to do, which makes me have to like stay at work later.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah.
I did hear you say that you're not good enough. When you say that, did you have that thought you're not good enough?
Yeah, I've been feeling like that I'm not good enough, or just like that I'm not meant to do this.
Are you good enough?
I mean, according to him, not, but I mean, I feel like I've been working here for 5 years now and really good positions. So I feel like I am.
What thoughts was going through your head when you were in that moment?
Well, like I said, like I'm not good enough. And I was just like scared that I was going to get fired, and that it was, I wasn't going to have anything to look forward to.
What does that mean to you? I'm not good enough, so I'm gonna lose my job.
Hmm. Yeah, so
Um,
I'm just going to lose my job, and I'm not going to be able to find another one. And it's just going to be a cycle of me not being good enough.
but you've been there for, I see you've been there for 5 years, and you've had some accomplishments. And you thought that he liked you in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was situational. It was something that happened
Hmm.
at that moment, and he became emotional
Hmm.
and said some things. So is that your thought?
No, I think that I'm really good at what I do. Like, I do feel like I can, go farther into the position and that this is something I want to do. So, I mean, I work so hard for it.
So how much I guess on a scale of, well, there's a scale of a 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you believe that you're not worth it, or
Like then or now?
then? What happened to make you believe that the thought was true with your boss?
It was just like because he sounded so intense about it that made me feel like that it was true, and just the way he presented it and how he presented it in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So what had happened to prove that thought to you? That
The thought that it was just that I wasn't like good enough.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, just him yelling at me. But besides that, it was nothing really else that happened that made me feel like that. It was just like the time and the moment type of thing. Like if he would
Mm-hmm.
have pulled me to his office and we would have just talked about it, I feel like I wouldn't have felt like that. But the fact that it was like broadcasted in front of everybody and like all my coworkers and like he was screaming and it was just only at me,
Mm-hmm.
and that I started getting the panic attacks from it, like it felt. That's how it just made me feel.
I can understand how that, can make you overwhelming and feel that way. So what's another way you can think about the situation to make it?
I guess I can look at it as that he was just being helpful,
Mm-hmm.
even though, and he might not have known how to express that,
Mm-hmm.
except for taking his power and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can look at it as he was just being helpful. I mean, I feel like I was like a little bit off that day anyway, just because I was tired. But and he knows that like I'm a hard worker, so he probably felt like that was just going to push me to feel better. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't look at it that way at the time.
Because you have been on a job for 5 years and you have, accomplishments and things of that nature. And and did you say that he thought that you was a good worker in
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
past, and that this was more so situational.
Mhm.
Um, so how is your relationship now with him? Is
I mean, we never really talked about it. Um, I think now this week my panic attacks were a little bit better. He's been calm and fine and going back to normal.
mm,
So maybe it was just like him. He was having a bad day.
mm,
Um, mhm.
okay. So with your mood and how your thought pattern right now with that situation, how do you feel now? Um,
I feel about like a 90, like a
okay.
90% on the scale.
Okay. So this will end our session. And the next time we'll meet, we will start back from where we stopped at this point. Um, thank you and hope to see you again.
Okay, thank you.